Good morning, my dear students. Myself, Kausar Mumin, 8th Standard, Subject Science, Chapter number 10 Cell and Cell Organelles. In this chapter, today we are going to discuss about mitochondria. So, before to start this topic, we will recall few points which are included in our daily life. So, do you have any idea about which energy is required to run fans, computers, electric bulb? So, obviously, answer is electric energy. And where is this energy produced? During fossil fuels, biogas, and a lot of things are there. Due to that, energy gets produced. Okay, so similarly, we can say that each cell requires energy, and this energy is produced in the mitochondria. So we have seen in previous lecture part of cells and all. So each and every cell requires energy, and this energy is produced in the mitochondria. You can observe here mitochondria figure. In this figure you can see there is a crystal matrix. Blue portion is there, which is matrix, and there is a space with their structure, that is inner membrane and outer membrane is there. So these are the name of the parts which are included in the mitochondria. Now, under the electron microscope, a mitochondrion is seen as double membrane structure. Under electron microscope, we are observing it. In the last lecture, we have seen the observation of cells and all. Okay, so similarly, we are observing this mitochondria is also in the electron microscope only. So, the outer membrane is porous and the inner membrane is deeply folded. You can observe here outer membrane and inner membrane. Whatever the inner membrane, it is deeply folded, and outer membrane is porous. Okay, so these folds are called as cristae. So whatever the folds are there, you can observe here these type of folds are there. These types of folds are there, and these folds are called as cristae. The inner cavity is filled with proteinaceous gel like matrix. So whatever the inner cavity is there, this inner cavity, the gel proteinaceous gel is there, and we called it as matrix containing ribosomes, phosphate granulae and DNA. Therefore, it can produce its own proteins. With the help of enzymes, mitochondria oxidize carbohydrates and fats in the cells. So the energy released in this process is stored in the mitochondria in the form of ATP. ATP means adenosine triphosphate. Obviously, you all have heard this word about plant respiration. Over there also adenosine triphosphate is going on, happening over there, and here also ATP is there. So plant cells have less mitochondria than animal cells. So there will be a question about this mitochondria level between plant cells and animal cells, which has maximum like mitochondria. So we should know the answer. In animal cells, as compared to the animal cells, in plant cells it has less mitochondria. Okay, so we all know about the use of this mitochondria. Use of this mitochondria is it requires energy, and this energy every cell requires energy for the work, and this energy is present in the mitochondria. Okay, Now, function: to produce energy rich compound ATP. In the form of ATP, the energy gets produced. Next function is synthesis of proteins, carbohydrates, lipids, etc. by using the energy in ATP. Next topic is vacuoles. Vacuoles are the storage sacks for solid or liquid contents. Whatever the storage is there for liquid contents, that storage is in vacuoles. So we can say it as it is storage sacks for solid liquid contents. They don't have any typical shape or size. The structure of vacuole changes according to the need of the cell. Vacuole is bound by single membrane. Here you can observe the figure for vacuole. All the figures which are coming back to back, you all have to draw these figures as part of homework. Functions of vacuole. First function is to maintain osmotic pressure of the cell, to store metabolic byproducts and end products. That means we can say glycogen, proteins, water, etc. In animal cell, they store waste products and food, while in amoeba, it stores food before digestion. In plant cell, vacuole are full of cell sap and provide rigidity to them. Next is plastids. Why are plant leaves green and flowers red, yellow, orange or blue? So the organelle which gives such color is present only in the plant cell. It is called as plastid. So whatever the organelle which gives the specific color for the plants, that is called as plastid. Plastids have double membrane and are of two types. What are the two types? So here's the table, you can observe here. The color of the plant is given and pigment is there. So if green color is there, obviously green color is there for their leaves. Okay, so pigment is chlorophyll. If orange color, obviously in orange color we all know carrot is there, so that is carotene. If yellow color, so that is xanthophyll. If purple and blue color is there, then anthocyanin. If dark pink is there, which is example beetroot, so that is betalains. Okay, so this type of pigments are present in it, and due to that the plants gets color. Now next is leucopards. Leucopards white or colorless plastids, and chromoplasts, it's a color plastids. Whoever has a plant body has a color, like whatever the colorless, or we can say white, so that we are naming it as leucoplasts. And the color plastids in present plants is such known as chromoplasts. So chloroplasts can get converted into other types of chromoplasts. Example, raw green tomatoes turn red due to breakdown of chlorophyll and synthesis of lycopene. Obviously we all know about the tomato starting has color is green, and afterwards it gets converted into red. Okay, so we can say this is breakdown of chlorophyll and synthesis of lycopene. Okay, so next is chloroplast. Here is the little activity, and you can observe here right hand side there is a figure which is a part of chloroplast. The overall you can observe here greenish color is there, and if you will go in detail about the study of this, you can observe here that the gap is there, that is stroma, and these levels are there, that is granum, thylakoid, intermembranous space, outer membrane, inner membrane. All these the name of parts of chloroplast. Little activities over here. We will go ahead with the activity. Take out a thin peel of rho or croton leaf and observe the chromoplast under the compound microscope. So let me show you about the same. Here is the observation of the same. This is Rio leaves. We are taking a solution. Then this is your glass slab and paper, and this is your electron microscope. Just take the Rio leaf, fold it, and you can observe here with the help of this spatula. Remove the insider of the leaf, thin part you will get over there. Put it on your glass, and afterwards put little drop of solution, because we can observe clear image of the same. Afterwards put it on a cover slip, and after keeping this cover slip on this slide, whatever the extra water, clean with the help of paper, and keep with your electron microscope, adjust it properly. So this is your observation. You can observe here cell membrane, cell wall. Okay, so this is the observation. So we can say chloroplasts are important for the photosynthesis process that takes place in the leaves. Chlorophyll in chloroplast drops solar energy and converts into chemical energy. Stroma in the chloroplast contains enzymes, DNA, ribosome, and carbohydrates that are necessary for photosynthesis. And functions, very first point is chloroplast converts solar energy into chemical energy, which means obviously food. If sun energy is not there, then there will be no formation of food. So the conversion is with the chloroplast only. Point number 2, chloroplasts give different colors to flowers and fruit. As we have seen above, leucoplasts are involved in the synthesis and storage of food like starch, oils, and proteins. Mitochondria and plastids can produce proteins as well as replicate themselves, as they have their own DNA and ribosomes. After studying the cell and organelles, we must have to come to know that all functions in plants and animals are taking place smoothly due to cell organelles. Such developed cells are called eukaryotic cells. Last year we have studied that prokaryotic cells are bacteria. So we can compare them, and this is the comparison of eukaryotic cell and prokaryotic cell. Eukaryotic cell has a size of 5 to 100 micrometer, as compared to prokaryotic cell is 1 to 10 micrometer. So prokaryotic cells are very small as compared to eukaryotic cells. Number of chromosomes in eukaryotic cell more than 1, and in prokaryotic cell only 1. Okay, and for eukaryotic cell, nucleus is with nuclear membrane, nucleolus, and nucleoplasm, and in prokaryotic cell, nucleoid resembling nucleus, like not that much developed. Okay, in eukaryotic cell, mitochondria and plastids present, and in prokaryotic cell they don't have membrane bound cell organelles. Eukaryotic cell example present in highly evolved unicellular and multicellular plants in animals. Prokaryotic cells are in bacteria. So this is the comparison which you have to write. Whatever the diagrams, figures which we have seen, all figures you have to draw, and this comparison also you have to write. This is important. This comparison is very, very important. So please write down in your book as well as learn. Okay, learn it. This concept is very important. So I stop my lecture over here. I will send you the notes for the same.